Hey, it's Paul Chek. Welcome back to my video blog. Today I thought I'd show you an exercise that's a mix of exercises, so I'm going to give you a concept to work with. You can use a club bell, a kettlebell, or a medicine ball to do this. It's important not to go too fast, too quick, unless you're well conditioned and have a lot of body awareness and you're warmed up for it. So I'm going to show you a few things you can do. One, we want to remember that when you're doing sit-ups or crunches on the ground, you're training less than half of the range of motion. Your spine can extend 35 to 45 degrees behind neutral. So when you're doing abdominal work on the floor, you're only training the 30 degrees of the movement that you can get when you bend forward, which would be like doing less than half of a biceps curl or partial squats. It doesn't really train your full range of motion. So when we take the kettlebell, and thank you to Eleiko for the beautiful kettlebells, they're very lovely. You want to lay back over the ball. With this exercise, you want to keep your hips up. If you let your hips drop down, you don't get the activation of the hip extensors, and for a number of reasons, that's less effective. So we want the hips up. We can let the kettlebell go all the way to the ground, and that trains us through a nice full range of motion, and we can use the momentum to bring us up and then touch the bell. So that's what I call a floor-to-floor crunch or sit-up. And then we can go into the Russian twist, supine Russian twist on the Swiss ball. And what we do is just start by just letting the weight come and relax yourself so your head's on the ball, and you can use the weight to stretch your connective tissues out, your fascia and your muscles, and just slowly move around and let the load be like your private therapist and open those joints up and stretch those connective tissues out. And it feels really lovely to do that. And then if we want, we can get a little more dynamic. Now, as you start moving the bell faster, it's not a good idea to go all the way to the end range of motion, because that much inertia can put too much torque on your joints and hurt you. And since we need to learn to control rotation for almost every martial arts or combative sport, or moving objects, or working in a warehouse, or pushing a shopping cart, we want to be able to practice using our muscles to control the weight as it's coming to the ground. It wants to take me with it. So I use my core by activating my core, just drawing my belly button in enough to turn it on, but not so much that it locks my breathing. And as the load gets higher, I draw in to counterbalance the amount of load there is, or speed there is, and we can make it go as fast as we want. And keeping the hips up helps control the rotational torque, and it keeps the hamstrings and glutes working as an integrated system with the core. Now, you can also do what I call around the world. You can take the bell in circles, or you can go right up and right back, or you can go back to your floor to floor, and you can go back to just letting it help stretch your body. This is a great way to release the lats. Put the top leg straight and just let it stretch your lats. Roll, let your head hang down. It'll stretch your neck extensors, your levator. So there's a lot of options there. One of the things that I do a lot of, encourage people to do, is spend time exploring your body in the gym and listening to it. Sometimes it doesn't want to be tortured with high-speed plyometric stuff. It just wants to be lengthened and opened. Other times you feel good and you want to do something a little more yang, then you can go faster and harder. The beautiful thing about the Swiss ball is it allows you a lot of range of motion, and it allows you to get behind the horizontal plane so that you can really train your abdominals through a full range of motion, which you need for pretty much any sport. Think of throwing a ball. You got to get back here. Serving with a tennis racket, you got to get back behind the midpoint or the frontal plane. So there's a little exercise play, something to experiment with on your own. And I hope you enjoy your exploration, and I'll look forward to sharing more, as I always do. And if you want to learn a lot more about exercise, I do mean a lot more of practical information, assessments, how to use exercise holistically, how to write exercise programs scientifically and holistically, highly recommend the Chek Exercise Coach program. The instructors are highly skilled. It took me years and years of clinical practice and study and studying exercise science and everything involved to put that program together, and there's not a program like it anywhere in the world. So if you want to master exercise, get yourself into Chek Exercise Coach, and the prerequisites alone will blow you away. So thanks for joining me today. Love to share with you. See you soon. I'm Paul Chek.